It's time for Stephen Rick's POTcast.
Hey, fuckers.
Hey, Rick.
What's going down?
How the hell are you?
Peachy.
Christ, it's been years.
So what's going on? What's the most recent update?
I just came back from my first neuropathy treatment.
Okay.
I drove to Reston, Virginia, which is a no fun drive.
That's a hike.
You got to take 15
Yeah.
or you got to take the highways. And there's probably less crashes on 15. I don't know. I'm going to figure this out. But there's 3 different ways that I can go, and I got to figure out the best way. Going down's easy. There's no traffic. Coming back, hitting some traffic. So I'm afraid it's going to fuck with us,
Yeah.
going at this time frame. But I went like 3 weeks ago, and that was at the evaluation. That's when they test to see how much feeling you actually have and
Right.
how much balance you have and blah, blah, blah. That went on for about 15, 20 minutes. And then today was my first actual treatment. So they start off with four shots in the calf. It's
Yikes.
Fuck it. Compared to what my feet feel like, that's a day at the park.
Yeah.
So I get 4 shots of vitamin B12
Okay.
in the calf. Then I go to this other room, and they got these, they call them cups with a sponge, and they wrap them below the knee and around the feet, these cups, both legs. And it's almost like a TENS unit. And I
Okay.
said, is that a TENS unit? Because I got one of them. I don't need to drive to Reston, Virginia for a TENS unit. And they go, no, it's the electrical shock that works with the B12. It all works together.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'm going to buy this for a while. So I got to do this for at least 12 more weeks, and then they'll reevaluate where I'm at. If there's improvement, then I'll continue on and do 12 more. If there's no improvement, then it's my decision. This is a waste of time. These drives suck.
Yeah.
I hate it. I'll just live with the neuropathy. I hope it doesn't come to that, but that's the reality of it. And I did ask the nurse today. I said, has anybody gone through all 24 treatments and not been helped? She said, yeah.
Oh, damn.
She said it's rare because, like I told you, 84% of the people that do this get at least a 50% reduction in neuropathy. So that's what lured me in.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping to get some help here. But if after 12 and I still feel the same, I'm just going to go to Jack Daniels and pot.
You know that works.
I know that works just fine.
What's the name of the place? Because a lot of the people that were offering advice want to know the name of the place because they need some.
It's called National Neuropathy Center, and it's in Reston, Virginia.
Okay.
And there's like 5 of them, and Reston is the closest one. I said, well, you need to come up to Frederick or something. You
Yeah.
need to come up to Western Maryland because we got neuropathy up here too.
Yeah. We found out there's a lot of people that suffer
This
from
ain't
that.
just shit from Reston.
Yeah.
And the drive sucks. I know it's going to wear me down, but I drove to Harrisburg and Baltimore for 25 years.
Right.
20 years before I joined your place.
Yeah.
And I just got to look at the big picture. I got to look at the light at the end of the tunnel and not think about the drives until I know that it is or it isn't going to help. So anyway, that's how I spent. And I got to get up at like 7:30 in the morning because I got to do my stupid routine that I do every day. I won't give it up. So I get up and I'm 8 o'clock, I'm out walking. 9:30, I'm working out.
Yeah.
10 o'clock, I'm farting. And then and Kelly went with me today, which was nice. Who's that?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Well, if you go to 12 weeks and it don't work and you got to revert back to Jack and Joints,
Yeah.
I got a place for you.
J&J.
Simple pleasures.
Hey! We just saw Hunter last week and he hooked me up once again.
Yes,
God
indeed.
Bless him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, big news. Hunter talked a little bit about it when he was with us, and then they put out a Facebook post. We shared it today on our Facebook, opening up the new place up in Greencastle. He showed me plans just now before I came over here. Gigantic.
Oh, it's going to be great if they can keep it open. And I'm reading every day that they're trying to get marijuana as a Schedule 3 instead of a Schedule 1.
Yep.
If that happens, that's going to open it up for the whole country.
Yeah. Is it in Schedule 3 like Tylenol and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Non-prescription drug, over-the-counter drug.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed because, Jesus, what's it hurting?
It ain't hurting anything. It's old fucking stubborn Republican, not just Republicans, Democrats too.
Right.
They're stuck in their ways thinking that the gateway drug and that they've been told that since they were that high and they still believe it. So you got to wait for them to die and then we'll get reform. Y'all got to die soon.
Alcohol is the gateway drug. I would always get drunk before I tried a new drug. If I didn't like the drug, I'd drink more and pass out.
Exactly.
Until I did cocaine. And that took alcohol buzz away, and I stayed up all night staring at my chest, making sure it wasn't going to beat out of my chest.
Yeah, that's not a good thing.
That scared the shit out of me. So that was a one and done when I was a young teenager.
I dabbled in coke, but I never got into it. I remember one time, Joe Procopio, our old sound man, just knock on the door one day. This guy walks in. I don't even remember his name, but Joe was ecstatic that he was there. And this guy walks into the coffee table, dumps a pile of cocaine. I mean, a pile of cocaine.
Shit.
And a baggie of Quaaludes.
Oh, man.
And I'm sitting there, and we're already half drunk, sitting there drinking beer.
Right.
And then we start doing lines. Then you do a Quaalude. And you keep drinking. And you do another line.
Jesus Christ.
A couple hours, do another Quaalude. I lasted about 18 hours. Then I finally went to bed and slept for 24.
Oh, my God.
I got up. Those guys were still up talking about the same thing when I went to bed.
24 hours previous.
Yep. But that's my experience with cocaine. That's not a good drug.
No, I didn't like it either. So we have a special guest today. And
No way.
I'm going to give you a couple clues.
All right.
This may give it away, but Planet of the Apes.
Oh, gee, Dean Kramer.
All right, give us a minute. We'll have Dean Kramer online with us.
Oh my God, it's Dean Kramer.
Yes.
Hi, Dean.
What's up, man?
Hi, boys. Hey, I got a guitar and I got my KISS shirt on, so I'm a happy camper.
Yeah, what else do you need?
I know, exactly. I'm good to go. Good to go for that. I could use some sugar product right now.
In support of Ace Frehley, there's something going on with him now, right?
I don't know anything more than anybody else does. I just heard, I guess he took a tumble and that's pretty much about it. So, hopefully.
I need that.
Well,
is he okay?
Yeah, well, I mean, we hear that or they're not really letting out a whole lot of any information. Just send prayers. It's not an emergency, I guess, is really all that I've heard about any of it. But it was weird because I remember back in 77, my brother and I, of course, are KISS fanatics even at that point, and we were like, man, if anybody in KISS ever dies, the world's over. That was in 77. I mean, we had like a genuine fear of like, man, what if somebody KISS dies? And here we are, and yet they're all still around. It's
kind of
amazing.
inevitable.
Yeah, that is true.
So catch us up, Dean. You were with Funny Money for what, 17 years?
18, even though I was gone like for 2 of those in there to go ahead and
You would get other gigs, and we would say, good luck, go for it, and then that would end, and we would definitely welcome you back because you're great at what you do.
Well, I appreciate it. And obviously, I love doing it, and Steve was actually a big part of just the whole time whenever I was gone. Whenever I left, the whole thing initially started because of Sebastian. It wasn't like an unhappiness or anything in Funny Money at all. But, Sebastian was just looking to go and possibly do something, and that panned out into nothing wise. But basically,
I remember you asked me to reach out to him because you were just in the dark of what was going on. And I did give him a call, and he took my call. But we'd met a couple times. He took my call and told me that probably wasn't going to work out with you, but at least you got your answer. And he took my call, and I was pretty flattered by that.
Well, I mean, it's again, there's no big surprise whatsoever. Just without saying what everybody else has already said, I'm sure prior, but Kicks just had that. They had that thing in the whole business that even if somebody quote went up further up the ladder and stuff like that, you guys were always the band that still had all those other bands, looking at the side stage to watch you guys play.
Yeah,
And of course,
yeah.
I was. But Sebastian was, of course, the exact same thing.
So that led you, the Funny Money, the Sebastian thing. Tell everybody what you're doing now in case they've been living in a cave and don't know what you're up to now.
Well, the past 2 years and about 4 months now, I've been playing with Bret Michaels, of course, of Poison fame and stuff, in his solo band. So I've been doing, tons of traveling, and which for the most part I love. As certainly as Steve knows, you do it all for the show. It's not about getting excited about the traveling aspect, and but I definitely learned a lot about that. And even back whenever I got with Funny Money, just kind of reboot that real quick. I learned so much just from everybody else in the band, and certainly from Steve, which is more so how to do things the right way and the professional way. Just coming from, a smaller level than anything like that, your expectations get raised. And then that's what I think starts to spill over for you. You want the same out of other people, and you realize the pros do it this way because it just makes sense to do it that way. They're not there to make things hard.
I think we learned early on that you give it your all the time, no matter how big or small the crowd is. You stay professional, and that's something that I always lived by. You remember the time that we played in Philadelphia, and this place was packed to the gills with college kids, and that show was over, and the place emptied out, and then we set up and played for one guy. You remember that?
I don't know if I remember. I would absolutely think I would remember playing freaking for one guy, but we've definitely hit some low points in there for sure.
Yeah, but I remember playing for one guy, and I said, "You wait. Next time we play here, there'll be 2 people."
And that's doubling your crowd. It ain't easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you say. And we doubled our crowd.
Yeah. I'll buy your ticket for you, sir. Just bring a friend. Yeah. Again, it's great stuff. We had lots of crazy times, and it's fun. I watch your guys' podcasts and stuff, and some of the comments about Dean talking all the time. And trust me, anybody who knows me, 100% accurate. I don't apologize for it. It is what it is. Maybe I'll get my silence.
You made our rides very interesting.
More interesting than we desired.
Sometimes we'd be like a half an hour out of the way when I would finally realize, oh, he's made me miss my exits, and I don't know where the fuck I'm at anymore. Dean, you guys shut up.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of these roads anymore, and it's like, yeah. So, well, of course, a lot of times, that was maybe just as GPS was coming in, at least somewhere along those lines. Oh, there you go. So yeah, if we didn't have the little Garmin's or anything like that, that was still probably a couple years out and stuff. So yeah, it's great times.
I think the coolest part of where you're at now in your career is that it's become common to just, when you're working, you look over and you see Dee Snider, you see Night Ranger, you see all these stars that are rock stars that you grew up with loving, and now they're basically your coworkers.
Right.
Is it still surreal? I mean, do you still pinch yourself once in a while, or?
Oh, 110%. Yeah. I mean, it's like, I feel that I've worked hard to get the opportunities, and that's basically all these are opportunities, because they could disappear tomorrow. So I just got to be thankful and happy to be there and not worry about whether they'll be there tomorrow. Just keep doing the work and stuff, and all that stuff's mostly out of my control. But yeah, to have Dee, I mean, we were sitting there, Bret was playing every rose. So, we're back behind the scrims, the amps and everything. And then Dee standing right beside, because he just got done playing the song with us. And I go, can you actually play guitar? And he goes, I can play a little bit. But yeah, he goes, I'm not going to scare anybody. He goes, but I used it to go ahead and write songs. And I've seen him tell the story where he'd have a couple of recorders and go, so I go ahead and I record maybe this onto a cassette recorder. And then I would go ahead and sing and bounce that onto another one while the other one plays back. And then that's what the stuff he would present with Twisted Sister. But yeah, to be able to ask people like that, Steve knows what a fanboy, Rick, you know what a fanboy I am. You know, I just am, and I always got the questions I just want to ask, and it's tough not to ask questions because I just want to know. It drives everybody nuts out there.
Who all have you worked with?
What's that?
Who all has joined Bret on this? What do you call it, the party tour or something?
Party Girl. Yeah. Bret came up with that. I mean, he has done obviously, Dee Snider, Lou Gramm from Foreigner, which is again that's surreal.
I bet
that stuff. Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray has probably been the coolest person on the planet I think you could ever meet. He just is that guy. Doesn't take himself serious, and he just goes out and has fun and knocks it out all the time.
Nice.
The guys in Starship, of course, all the Night Ranger guys. I mean, it's just weird. First night that we had Night Ranger out with us, they usually we go ahead and have them come out for, say, Sweet Home Alabama, something that everybody can go out and grab a tambourine or cowbell, whatever it is, and stuff. So all the bands would come out at that point. And I turn around and I'm getting ready to go ahead and, Pete starts off the song, and I go ahead and start to do that little lick and stuff. I turn around and Brad Gillis is right there, right in front of me. And he goes like this, like he wants to play my guitar. And I was kind of stunned. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. So anyway, he goes, don't worry about it. And I go, oh no. So I go ahead and I immediately give him my guitar and everything like that. And it's like, you got to pick? I'm like, sure. So, and I got my in-ears in. So, and for the most part, I hear myself, guitars and vocals, and maybe a little bit of something else, but not much. And so we had a photographer out there, Chris Carroll. He was actually out with us on the road too. Exactly. Yeah, I got to get me one of them shirts. I really do. And but anyway, I knew he was there that night. So I immediately ran across the stage up to him and go, Brad Gillis is playing my guitar. I want great photos of that, please. And of course, so he got these photos, Brad's playing my Wolfgang purple guitar and stuff like that. And and the next day, then Brad comes up in catering and goes, hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take your guitar. I'm like, dude, I don't care, that kind of stuff. And he goes, is there any way we can play together? And unfortunately, I have one amp system that I'm using. So I have two body packs. Said, so you take that, put it on your guitar. I'll have mine. Whenever we're done, I'll just switch mine off and fake it. And then your guitar will come live and everything. So every time those guys get up, it's just kind of crazy to hear Brad Gillis playing Night Ranger stuff over Sweet Home Alabama and everything. And it's Brad is Brad. And I've always loved his playing and stuff. But it's funny. He's absolutely that Brad pretty much with whatever he plays, I think. Unless you tell him not to, because I'm sure he can play pretty much anything he wants, but it's crazy to hear him wailing away on all that stuff. It's again, surreal. I'm blessed.
That's very cool. Very cool, Dean. I'm happy for you. I really am. I know.
Thanks.
I know how much.
A lot of this comes from you. I'll just say it so everybody sees it. Of course, a lot of it again. Funny Money was certainly a launching thing into anything else. For all of us who were in the band and that kind of stuff. So
let's talk about
I've always been happy and super proud.
Let's talk about how we met, because I started teaching. It was I guess it was like 1995. When Kicks had done their last show, and Billy Andrews came up to the house and talked me into starting a band. And I think you and your singer come down to my house for vocal lessons. I was teaching in Cumberland, I was teaching in Harrisburg, I was teaching in Baltimore, I was teaching out of my house just to make ends meet. And you come down and you asked me what I was up to, and I said, I'm writing a couple songs. And you said, oh yeah, let me hear them. And I took you over to my little T-Act 4-track, and you laid down a lead that blew my mind on, I forget what song. Do you remember what song it was?
Well, one of them was definitely Monkey See.
Okay. And you blew me away. And then when we were doing rehearsals with just the 4-piece band, it just felt naked to me. It just did not feel right. And Billy wanted to be the lone guitar player. And I talked him in and I said, there's this guy came to my house. He played a great lead. Seems like a great guy, very loyal, very, very professional. And I think he come down to audition in Frederick. And we all go, yep, he's the guy. And we were together ever since.
Oh yeah. And it's funny because that day I came down on a Sunday and I was in the middle of, I remember our discussion very well because it obviously had a lot of weight for me. But whenever we were doing that the lesson, I kind of came in and say, hey, if you're interested in me doing anything, because you'd already said you were doing stuff. It's like, I'm either looking to go ahead and move down to Florida or maybe Nashville or New York or something, whatever, just do something. And he said, well, let me talk to the guys. And that's where you came back and he said, here's some songs, some originals, here's some kicks tunes, learn whatever you can. And then we'll go ahead because I think I was in the middle of playing like 12 out of 14 days at that point.
Yeah.
So I was just busy. But he said, yeah, just go ahead and learn whatever you can. And that's fine. So I came down on that Sunday. And whenever I left, I remember you saying, hey, give us till, like maybe Tuesday or something like that so we can talk. And then I'll let you know what everybody thought. So by the time I drove from Frederick back up to Cumberland, my girlfriend's mom at the time goes, somebody named Steve called and said, you got the gig if you want it. And that's, so that was in that short amount of time. And like I said, that I remember all pretty well. So yeah, from there on, and of course you had already said that Billy wants to be the lead guitar player and that kind of stuff. And, as far as I recall, pretty much right out of the gate, we ended up going 50-50, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he just trusted me enough. He heard enough to go, okay, you can play.
Plus he's lazy.
Hey, could you learn the other half of the songs that I haven't learned? Because I'm tired.
I love Billy, but he was lazy. If he could get out of something, he would.
Yeah. Again, great musical guy. Got all that ear and kind of stuff. But anybody knows.
Guitar player,
I would say.
singer. I mean, I thought our band was great, but those guys thought that I was going to take them to a higher ground. They thought because I was from Kicks, they were going to make it now. And it's like, no, why do you think I'm here? Because we got kicked out of the party. And they never quite got it. So we lasted 5 years. And then when those guys all decided to move on, you and I had to decide, do we want to keep this going or you want to let it go? And you talked me into keeping it going.
We were sitting in your living room right behind, or your kitchen right behind you. And you asked, and I'm like, why would we stop? That was my mindset. I'm like, we got a good thing here, so let's keep going. And that's how it went.
Well, then we got Mark Shanker in, and we had who's a guitar player that could play lead like a motherfucker, but couldn't play a rhythm. Lewis. Couldn't play a rhythm to save his dick, but great lead guitar player.
I can almost read the comments already. There you go. Son of a bitch. But and we got Sam in there as well.
Sam on drums. Yep. I remember Sam came in and he had everything charted out. And we were in my basement going over, and he was on my old blue leady drums, playing them. And he's just reading all these charts. And it was like a drum machine. It was just so boring. And I looked at him, and I took his notes, and I said, just fucking play. Mm-hmm. And he did, and he was great. And Sam was great until Jimmy decided to come out of retirement. And Sam, like a champ, just bowed out and said, yep, I get it.
Yeah. It's funny, though, because the whole thing about Jimmy coming out, whenever, of course, early on, and we had the Blues Vultures, opening up gigs and stuff like that. And then Jimmy would be, the drummer sometimes and stuff.
Right.
I always remember you making the comments like, I can't even get Jimmy to go ahead and go out and get a pizza.
Really?
And Ronnie's got him out here playing. He goes, you're like, I don't understand or whatever. But obviously, eventually,
he was itching to get out and play, and he didn't want to do it like a full-time thing. So when I called him and talked to him, he had to go to his wife, Kathy, and say, honey, Steve wants me to come out and do some drumming for him. And he called me back and said, Kathy said I can come out and play.
Yes.
And it made my day because, I love Jimmy. I love playing with Jimmy. He's the best. He's just the best.
He is. I mean, he is. There's no, whenever, throughout all those years of Funny Money, I sat there and every now and again, of course, obviously I would say nothing to you because that'd just be goofy and probably make both of us feel awkward or whatever. But, I got to go ahead and, look off to my side and I saw one of the greatest frontmen of all time. And I look back here and I got one of the greatest drummers of all time. And I whatever, I got the spot because hopefully I was able to hang with what I thought was that level of people and stuff like that. So I go, as long as I got a gig, they're happy. So that's, it's your peers is what, whenever somebody else says that they think you do a great job and you respect what they do, it means it carries a lot of weight.
Sure. Yep. But good times. And, I was proud of that band. I really was. I was very proud. I knew that it never got the amount of attention that we wanted. I mean, we would have fair, decent crowds, but we weren't packing places. And everybody, sure. I remember one time Ronnie Youngkins and I were coming back from Mohegan Sun, driving back all that way, and he was giving me all these compliments up and down about how Kicks would be shit without me. And I looked at him, I said, Ronnie, I said, I've been doing Funny Money for over 5 years, and we don't draw crowds like Kicks does. It's not me, it's all of us. It's the charisma of all 5 of us guys. And Funny Money just never quite got to that. But sure. We were respectable, and I was happy with it.
Yeah, in a different time period, had we came out 10 years earlier, but still, there was absolutely the Kicks factor played into the whole stuff. And all I care is that people came out and saw the show. If they were just big Kicks fans and that's all they cared about, we got them out, and I think we were good enough. And that's why people, in the later years and stuff are like, Funny Money, just come on out and just play your own stuff instead of the Kicks. And that's kind of like the Emperor with no clothes, particularly, I'm sure, on your end. You're like, man, this has to sink or swim. But I loved playing, and I know I've mentioned it to you a couple times, but man, if I had to play Kick songs for the rest of my life, I'm like, I'm fine with that because they're freaking great songs, But I love the Funny Money. In fact, I was doing Horny Little Angel. I just picked up a guitar for some reason. It just stuck. And I started going over my parts of Horny Little Angel solo and everything. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to have Steve in public.
Oh, no. Dean, you okay? He fell on his face.
You drinking? What are you doing, man?
There you are.
Hey, at least you know it's live.
This is professional recording, Dean.
All right. Hey, great job, but it will be reflected in your paycheck.
Oh, that sucked.
Yeah, but anyway, so, like I said, people always ask, it always gets brought up, hey, how about Funny Money reunion, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, everybody knows, I've told you, sure, I'm all about it, but, I certainly respect that you don't want to do it.
Well, when I decided it was time to put Funny Money away, was because Kicks was just getting way more popular. We were playing way more, and we were, Funny Money was doing about half Kicks, half Funny Money. And I just thought that it wasn't fair to the other guys that I'm still out here playing Kicks songs. And I didn't have the confidence to just do all Funny Money songs. So that's why I thought it's time to let it go. And I know you didn't want to let it go, but I felt it was appropriate at the time.
I remember the conversation we had over the Blue Box. The whole thing of like, we had you of course had told me that we had a meeting, whatever like that, and we've opted that January 31st in Boonesboro or whatever, outside of Hagerstown. It was going to be the last gig, and I'm like, I wasn't at that meeting, and I was like, so for me, it was tough, certainly, because not only not being involved in the conversation, again, it is what it is.
I don't remember it like that. Refresh my memory. I don't remember that.
New Year's Eve, not January 31st. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. That was our last gig. Our last gig was New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. What did I say?
January 31st.
Oh, okay, yeah. But no, sorry. So, it was that. And, of course, part of it was, obviously, the loss of Funny Money. But, and even just the musician-wise in me goes, well, what am I going to do now? I'm kind of losing that. Everybody else who was obviously in the Funny Money camp, crew and everybody, just continued on with kicks.
Yeah.
So I was like the last guy there. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
true.
got nothing stuff. So, that was tough. But, but past that, I completely understood it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, as you can imagine. But, yeah, I completely got it and everything.
Hey.
And things have worked out.
Everything worked out.
Yeah.
You're doing
you
all right.
Didn't you have solo going at the same time towards the end of Funny Money? I think you did.
Yeah. Because that time off is whenever I record that solo record.
Right. Because Mark helped you. Mark helped you record that.
I had it, but I mean, how it's tough for anybody nowadays to go ahead and build a career.
Sure.
It's just not like it was back in the '80s where you could play 7 days a week. And
right.
All that other kind of,
yep. Different world.
But it is interesting because a lot of people go, well, it turned out for the best, or however you want to phrase it. I'm like, yeah, but at the time, I had no idea that anything was going to happen.
Really?
So, I mean, I certainly had, Bret wasn't on my radar.
No, I know. I don't remember not giving you any heads up about maybe wanting to end this thing. I don't remember that.
Yeah, I guess it was in maybe September or October, we'll say, where we were playing the Blue Fox. We were back in that
right.
room. And then that's whenever you told me,
okay.
We're just going to wrap it up at the end of the year.
You're right.
I'm like, well,
yep, you're right.
And again, I'm not bitter over it, but it stung for sure. It just kind of felt like everybody else was moving ahead and I wasn't. It was a personal thing for me.
I get it.
And again, just because I thought the band was great, and who wants to let anything great disappear?
Sure.
Yeah.
I was very happy musically wise, and like I don't want anything else. You know what I mean?
Well, like Rick said, it all worked out. You're in a great place right now. We had a hell of a run in Kicks and made more money and had more big shows than ever in our career. So it all worked out for all of us.
How cool was that?
It was the best.
I do. I love it. I think it's great because it's the usual long overdue and all that kind of stuff. Is funny because as hard as you guys busted your ass in that first 18 years, and you walk out of it, it's like, well, what do we get out of this?
We got nothing.
And then you come back, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, there's money.
Yeah.
Dean, I hate to do it, but we're getting the old whirly bird from our producer that we got to wrap it up. So, just talk a couple minutes. I was talking to you, I think last week, maybe the week before. You were getting off the plane from a Bret show to head to another show. You're in 3 different acts and you're playing all the time. You're the busiest musician I know. What all's going on right now besides the Bret Michaels band?
Well, everything is indeed based off of Bret's schedule, of course. So, so if I can get home, I still do the acoustic stuff, the Cramer and Ivy, the Cramer Brothers Main show, all that kind of stuff. Of course, solo-wise, it's tough because everybody else, either, their lives have moved on over the past couple of years. They got involved in other things and stuff. So it's tougher anytime I get an offer for a solo gig, then I got to assemble a band. So, but we actually are on December 12th. We're going to play the Racehorse Tavern and with Ted Poley. Steve, do you know Ted?
Yeah, I know Ted.
Rick, you know Ted? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, super duper nice guy. I've only really kind of got to meet him over the past couple of years and stuff, but we keep talking about, hey man, let's do something together, and we're big animal people and all that stuff. So anyway, December 12th, Racehorse Tavern up in PA. We're going to do that together, but we got other stuff also with Chad Stewart from Fast Pussycat drummer, and
Carl.
The other guitar. What's that?
Carl.
Yes. Yeah, showing him that text and stuff like that. He was cracking up on that. Yeah.
Hey, Dean, we're on a clock here. We're on a clock, and we got to go.
Okay.
Or else this thing's going to shut down. So I want to say thank you for doing this. It's always great to see you. Great talking to you, and all the best to you. And give Bret my best.
I will do. I love you guys.
All right, love
Thanks,
you too.
man. Love
Take
you,
care,
Dean.
buddy.
See you, man.